palmistry reading of a particular person whose age is 30. These are the 5 points I'm going to be talking about: mercury line, break in the fate line, sun line, relationship, marriage, and how his finances are going to be in general. So these are the main points that I will be referring to. To be successful in present times, the most important line to refer to is the mercury line. This is basically the line of mercury going towards the mount of mercury. Now, what is mercury? Mercury is all about statistics, economics, biology, chemistry, business, everything to do with communication and calculations. If the area of mount of mercury and if there's a line of mercury that is present out here, the chances for success increases. The reason being very simple, that a person who can communicate effectively is a one who is going to be more successful, and it is the area of your skills. Is we ask ourselves who is going to be more successful. A person is going to be successful who has sharpened their skills and who is constantly sharpening their skills. So the if we find that there is a mercury line which is deep and clear, the chances of the person sharpening their skills increases. And on top of the mount of mercury, this is the area we are referring to, there are one or two perpendicular lines. Although these lines that you see out here are comparatively weak, they're not very strong, but still the area of the mount of mercury is neat and clean. What we mean by neat and clean is that there are very few lines over the mount of mercury. There are no crisscrossing lines over the mount of mercury. So if there were crisscrossing lines, it would mean that the person is miscalculating and miscommunicating. So we don't find such an indication in this particular person's hands, and that is a reason why we can say with certainty that the person can be successful. The amount of mercury is also for networking skills, coding skills, computer skills, and many other skills that I have already spoken about. So even for law, physics, chemistry, everything to do with these things are depicted by the amount of mercury. Do not think that the person has got a mastery in every possible thing. The person could have a mastery in one or two things, and that is it, and that is the only thing that is required for success. So this is the first aspect that we saw on his particular palm. The second thing that we see on his particular palm is that there appears to be a break in the line of fate. See, this is the line of fate that we are referring to. This is the line that is reaching the headline. This is the headline, and it is kind of ending before it touches the headline, and a new line develops somewhere out here, and it touches the heart line. This is the heart line. Again, it changes course, and there's another line out here. So you would notice that there are 2 or 3 breaks in the line of fate. Break in the fate line could mean few troubles that the person might face, but the quality of the money line from earlier portion till it reaches the headline is neat and clean, and it's a good line. So there would be stability, but somewhere close to the age of 35. This portion is age 35. The intersection of the money line and the headline, so this age is 35, this intersection. So if the money line is breaking before the age of 35, that's when few changes are taking place. So we can say with approximation that the changes are likely to take place somewhere close to the age of 33, 34. This age is 33, 34. But before it ends, before the main fate line ends, another line kind of develops, and that too ends somewhere close to the age of 35. It remains there for 1 or 2 years, and then a new line develops at the age of 35, and that basically continues till it reaches the heart line. And then a new line basically develops at the age of 53. This intersection is age 53. So, and towards the end of the fate line, you would notice that there's a V or a Y-like formation forming, pointing towards the mount of Saturn, towards the finger of Saturn. This is the finger of Saturn that we are referring to. A V or a Y pointing towards any finger is always a good indication. V or a Y, don't think that V is for victory. V is just a good sign pointing towards the finger. The reason why we say it is a good sign is because energies penetrate the fingers, and they get accumulated wherever there's a V or a Y. So this portion becomes a very, very important portion of one's life. So we can say with certainty that this V or a Y is forming somewhere close to the age of 55. If this intersection of the heart and the money line was 53, so this portion is approximately age 55. That's when many good things are likely to happen. Now we are talking about, right now the person is just age 30, so we are talking about this particular portion of one's life. You would also notice that there is a money triangle like formation. This is the line of Mercury, this is the line of money, and this is the line of head. Now many things are said about the money triangle. The money triangle is considered to be good, again with the same reason that we pointed out regarding this V or a Y. Same things happen, that this money triangle is kind of angling towards three fingers. Saturn is for money, possession and wealth. This is for creativity. Sun finger is for creativity, risk-taking abilities, and Mercury is for skills. So energies, the energies of the mental skills, they penetrate the fingers, they enter the palm, and once they enter the palm, basically they enter our life. And if they kind of get accumulated inside this money triangle, so it is considered to be a significant portion of one's life. So that's the reason why it's a good sign. And because there are three energies, this is the money, possession and wealth, this is the creativity side, and the risk-taking side, and the skill side. So all these three are positive energies that are forming and are considered to be good sign. So continuing with this money triangle, it is seen in many people's hand. It's not that it's completely rare, but the formation of the money triangle is very important. If the money triangle doesn't have any break-like formation, then the quality of the money triangle becomes much better. You would notice that there's kind of a small break-like formation somewhere out here, the break in the money line. That's the reason why the quality of the money triangle depletes to a small extent, not to a large extent, just a small extent. And the timing when things are likely to become good in this particular person's life is at the formation, this particular point where the money triangle is forming. So if this age is 35, so probably this age where the money triangle gets formed is approximately 30-31. So this is the rough estimate I can say with certainty that things are going to be good. As such, the quality of the money line is good in spite of these breaks that you see out here. In spite of the breaks, the quality of the line is good. Do not give too much of importance to the money line, because money line does have importance, but it doesn't mean that it is the only line. And although the line, it is called the money line, but it could have other meanings as well. So therefore, the break in the money line could mean 2 or 3 possibilities. One is job loss, work loss, business loss, any one of them. Second could be the main earning member of the family, their health or wealth goes down. So more responsibility is likely to fall onto this particular person's head somewhere close to the age of 35 because of this break. And then there's stability. If this second line was not so clear, then the chances was going to be a little bit bad. So the break in the money line, first I've already explained. The second could be more responsibility falling onto this particular person's head due to the main earning member of the family, their health or wealth goes down, and more responsibility falls onto this particular person's head. The third could be that one's personal life may get disturbed, and because of disturbances in one's personal life, there's a problem that you can see in the money line as well. Now one more thing, try to notice out here that this is the money line, this is the headline, and there's also another line coming from the area of Mount of Mars and touching the headline somewhere at this particular point. So somewhere close to the age of 35, a problem line comes from the area of Mount of Mars negative. Mars negative has got positive as well as negative qualities. The qualities are anger, aggression and fire. So if there's a horizontal line touching any line and touching the headline somewhere close to the age of 35. So mental disturbances and financial disturbances we already have spoken about. So mental disturbances can be expected, but because the quality of the headline is also neat and clean and it doesn't get damaged, it doesn't get wavy, the line is not forming something like a wave-like formation. So that's the reason why we can say with certainty that even with all the problems, the person would still remain stable and calm and cool, and that's the reason why the person would be able to overcome the problems he's facing in his life. So this is what I can see. Again, at the age of 53, there's a changeover. So this changeover can be seen, and good results can be expected because towards the end there's a V or a Y-like formation. So money line as such, in spite of these breaks, I don't say that it is a bad line, and it's a very stable and neat and clean line. The starting point of the money line is on the mount of moon. This is the mount of moon. The line of money starts on the mount of moon. So you can expect that the person would get benefits from trading activity, service industry. The person could also benefit from females. Now this female could be a woman, like wife, it could be mother, sister, or daughter. So try to make them happy and try to do things that basically they suggest to you. The person could also benefit from foreign countries because a money line that originates on the mount of moon could mean foreign countries as well, or benefits from foreign country. The person need not go to a foreign country, but still the person may benefit from foreign countries as well. So this is a good aspect, but it doesn't mean that the person goes abroad. The person may be working for a foreign company in the home country as well. So in that way, the money line is good, and benefits from trading service industry can be expected. Now, from the point of view of career, we have to basically look at one's sun line as well. Now the sun line in this particular hand is the line that is going towards the ring finger. This is the finger that we are referring to. And normally what happens is that the sun line, some people they have got a long sun line, some people they have a short sun line. Normally I'm just going to draw a sun line something like this. This is the headline and this is the heart line. Now, somewhere at this intersection, the age is 35. If the line was present out here, then we would have said this portion is before the age of 35. This portion is 35 to 53. And this portion is 53 and beyond. So you would notice that in the earlier portion, the line of sun is not present. The sun line is kind of originating somewhere at this particular age, and it's touching the line of heart. So somewhere close to the age of 40, the line starts and it ends somewhere close to the age of 53. This portion of the sun line is comparatively weak and dim. The lower portion, the portion between the heart line and below the finger, this portion is deep and clear. So we can say with certainty that the portion of life beyond the age of 53 is going to be much better. There you would notice that there's an absence of the sunline somewhere out here. So absence of the sunline doesn't mean that the person doesn't have a career during the earlier portion of one's life. Absence of the sunline can mean good possibilities as well. It might mean unlimited possibilities. But a weaker sunline, the weaker sunline that you see out here is from the age of 40 to 53. That's when the sunline is not so deep and clear. It signifies that the person is likely to have few doubts, and because of those doubts, the person would not be able to give high energies to their work, and that's the reason why there could be some self-doubt or something which might keep on cropping up. But the practical side of palmistry, I've seen that in spite of having a very dim kind of a sunline also, few people can be successful as well. It's just that they have to remove self-doubt, only then things can become even better. And when the sunline is deep and clear, it basically means that there are no clouds in the sky. You can see your path very clearly, and you're able to energize your work, and you can run your car at a greater speed. So a sunline that is good somewhere on the mount of sun, although the age is after the age of 50, this is what the book says. But whenever I found the sunline to be good somewhere out here on the mount of sun, I have found that the person could be even successful even in the earlier portion of one's life. I need to add one more thing out here, that do not think that one line, if it is weak, somewhere it might not give result. We have to look at the other lines. So if the other lines, something like a mercury line in itself is good enough for success. So don't think that money line wouldn't tell anything about success. So if the money line is good, everything is going to be good, and the money and the mercury line is good, and other portions of the palm is good, good things can be expected from one's life. So so that's the reason why even a weaker sun line still, and the career, it is also called the career line, even then it is going to give good results in spite of it being a little bit dim in some portion of the palm. Now we take a look at the relationship part and the marriage part. See, regarding the marriage part and the relationship part, we have to look at various portions of the palm. The first is the heart line. Now the heart line is very simple kind, deep and clear. So the chances are that there might not be any emotional breakdown. Some people, they might have these breaks on the heart line. That's when emotional breakups can be seen, but I don't see that particular aspect on this particular person's palm. Towards the end, there's a small branch like thing touching the hairline. So this could be a little bit negative, because this line could mean misplaced affections. It might mean being affectionate to somebody who is not worth your affection. This is a little bit negative. But as such, the main line is kind of ending out here on the mount of Saturn. So in that way it is good, because Saturn is for wisdom, Saturn is for responsibility, and Saturn is basically for money management. So a heartline that ends on the mount of Saturn means all these qualities coming to this particular person. So, heartline is also seen from the career point of view as well. So coming back to the relationship part, the heartline that ends on the mount of Saturn is considered to be good from the relationship point of view as well, because the person is realistic and the person is not having higher expectations from the relationship. If the heartline was longer and reaching the mount of Saturn, that's when we would say that the person is very emotional, very sensitive, and that could be the reason for higher expectations from the relationship and problems in relationship coming due to high expectations and being very touchy and being very sensitive about our relationship. So this person is not possessive, this person is very realistic and grounded, and the chances of those relationship part increases. Now the second aspect from the relationship and the marriage point of view is the mount of Venus. It appears that the mount of Venus is very prominent, and whenever we find that the mount of Venus is prominent, very well padded, it is basically meaning that the person is going to be extremely warm. Venus is a warm planet. Warm means the person is extremely warm by nature, and the person can cultivate lots of relationship and many partnerships as well. It could be from the business point of view or even from the relationship point of view. So it appears that the area of mount of Venus is very prominent. So this is the area of your love and desires. This is the area of beauty and grace. So the chances of this particular person being attractive and attractive to the opposite sex remains, and that's the reason why things are likely to be good. The only negative aspect that I can say for the relationship part could be somewhere close to this particular age that I've already referred to, somewhere close to the age of 33 to 35. That's when he needs to be a little bit more careful, and if he's careful, the chances of his success increase in his relationship as well. As such, because the money line starts on the mount of Moon, the person is going to be having lady luck, and probably the lady that comes into this particular person's life, that lady is going to bring him luck as well, and more success coming to this particular person after marriage can be expected. Now we take a brief look at the left hand before I end my video. Actually, both hands do show lots of similarities. It doesn't show that both hands are totally dissimilar. Same indications. Perpendicular line over the mount of Mercury. I have already spoken about the area of skill. the sun line very deep and clear, somewhere after it crosses the heart line. Whenever we find the sun line to be very neat and clean and deep and clear and singular out here, we can say with certainty the person never retires. It doesn't mean that the person needs to work, it's just that the person remains productive even when the person is growing old. And some people called the sun line to be the career line, some people call it to be the name and fame line, some people call as the luck line. I would combine everything and say it is basically a good line, and it might give you luck also, it might give you name and fame also, but at the same time it is all due to your own efforts and having focusing in the focusing on your work. That is going to bring you more success. Same thing applies in the money line. As we saw in the right hand, it is breaking up and a new line starting. I've already mentioned same things. I need not apply out here. And I think that's it for this particular hand reading out here. I would end my video out here, but before I end my video, I will just repeat few things that I repeat in almost every video. That is, press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can get a palmistry reading from me. You can call me or you can email me. These are the phone number that I mentioned out here. And importance of money line in terms of how much money we will have is just 15%. We can come to know about money from every aspect of our palm. It can be our heart line, head line, sun, Mercury, Venus, any portion of the palm, any line can tell about the money aspect. And a saint once said, you don't need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. That's what matters the most. Thanks for watching. Bye and take care.